When we started thinking about Killzone Shadowfall, we wanted to have a story that would allow us to do something new with the franchise and something different.
One thing that really stood out early on is somebody mentioned the Iron Curtain in space.
The world that you play in, and a large part of it is done in Vector City, where the Helghast and the VSA are living together.
The city is divided in two parts. On the one hand, you have this lush, beautiful world, which used to be the Vector City, but on the other side of the wall, there is now New Helgen.
This is very much a story of people in conflict. It's civilizations, both who feel equally justified in their actions, going head to head.
We've always drawn on kind of history. We're a science fiction universe, but at the same time it has to be relatable. It has to be something that is grounded.
It reminds us also of the Berlin Wall, where this threat has always been looming over Europe, like this nuclear devastation.
I still remember from when I was little looking at the Berlin Wall situation. You sort of grew up being told that, you know, the people on the other side of the wall were the wrong ones and we were the right ones.
Everybody in the East just sounded really scary and really dangerous, and what was beyond that wall you cannot trust, and it was all sorts of propaganda almost.
And then when the wall was broken down, you saw it really wasn't like that at all.
What you see in real conflicts as well is that the bad guys aren't just bad. There's also, there's also civilians and good guys, and that plays through as a theme in Killzone Shadowfall.
The game initially sets you up to hate these other guys. I mean, you're shooting these bad guys, you think they're bad guys, and then you start to realize that there's more to them.
I can't believe they just throw us out like that. We have rights too.
And I think that's kind of an interesting thing to start playing with. Can I overcome my own prejudice of what is beyond that wall?
So rather than, again, having a soldier that's part of a squad, going on a scenario where it's a full-out war, we wanted to have a story that would allow us to do a bit more thoughtful gameplay, but maybe also tell a story that has multiple layers in them.
In this game, you're the Shadow Marshal, so not only are you close to the decision makers, you see the kind of the power brokers making all the high-level decisions.
It's really down to kind of your leaders to resolve this conflict, because if it doesn't, then everybody suffers.
They seem to be orphans. They're throwaway people. They're people who've been abandoned and have lost their value.
The theme of home is really powerful, because everybody has a home.
What do people who have been rejected by their societies, what do they go on and do? And in many cases, they have a grief that moves them forward, but it also gives them a kind of freedom that in some way they feel like they have nothing left to lose.
For those willing to listen, there's something to adjust their own kind of thinking. You start realizing that they're not all bad, and they're all also trying to kind of fight for their own freedoms and their own home. And that transforms the experience that you have as a player as well. You write these characters, and you have an idea in your head of who this character is, and then when you start seeing actors bringing something to that character, it starts to open up your eyes and thinking, actually, I wasn't expecting it to be that character, but that really works.
Everyone was just like in awe of the principal talent and the performances that Tom Keegan got out of them.
When you bring together a team of people who are really committed to the story and the characterization, the actors feel it, and we're really fortunate to find fantastic people to fit those roles.
Copy up. That's set in place. We want the option to go mobile if we have to.
My favorite character is Sinclair, who's played by David Harewood. When I watched the first read-through, I instantly knew, like, this is going to be a great story.
The moment he kind of opened his mouth and started reading kind of Sinclair's lines, you go, yeah, that's him.
Damn it, you're too important to this operation. Nah, you're too important to me. I almost call him the hero of the piece. He loves Vector. He's a soldier. He's been fighting for Vector since he was a boy.
On one hand, he's caring for you. On the other hand, he has this kind of almost brutal motivations where he said the only way we can ever be safe is by eradicating our enemy.
He makes you want to fight for him, and you start to see that he may not be the good guy that you think he is.
He has seen the worst of his enemy. And now that they are here on our planet, with just a wall between us, he feels almost kind of violated.
And that's something that initially you can kind of relate to. But then you meet these other characters and they kind of hold up a mirror to what it is that you're doing. And of course the key character in that is Echo.
She's sort of an outsider. Her mother is Helghast and her father was Vectin, so she is a half-breed.
Because of the background she has, the family she comes from, you can see that she's also going through a change in how she views the world.
She's not caught up with allegiances. That doesn't really matter with her. She does crave companionship, but she's never really had it, so she's completely comfortable standing on her own and standing up for what she believes in, even if that means she's doing so by herself.
She again represents the crossover that we're trying to do. So Vectin's good, Helghast bad. There's a middle ground.
Both sides help to destroy this planet. We cannot let the same thing happen to Vector.
To add to that mix, to really kind of stir the pot, we have kind of this crazy element of Tyrann, who is completely out of control and who's a person who just seizes the moment.
He's hell-bent on revenge. He wants to crush skulls. He wants to look in the souls of people's eyes as they die. And that makes him feel alive. When
Crispian walked in and he did his piece, we were kind of going, I want to get out of here, because he's genuinely crazy. He's just way too scary.
You've got to get some pain behind it, behind this intense anger. When you look at Tyrann, you're not just, oh my God, kill him, he's the really terrible guy. No, that you really understand these people's pain.
You can understand kind of these people's motivations, but the only thing you have to figure out is what is the best way to actually deal with that problem of protecting your home.
Video games in the past haven't always had that kind of depth and that richness for an actor, and so it's been really a joy to kind of, you know, bring this whole team together and really explore this story.
It may deviate from kind of the mental image that you had, but at the same time it's far more interesting to see it portrayed in that light.
These new consoles, the new game engines, the facial capture allow the story to be told so much more through the eyes of the characters and the voices and the performances. It's a tremendous new opportunity.
PlayStation